Welcome to Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur with Nancy Gaskins, where we inspire and teach everyday people how to create, fund, and live a life worth smiling and talking about. Personally, we believe the best way to do that is by owning and operating your own business and by becoming an entrepreneur. My name is Nancy Gaskins, and I help entrepreneurs like you to discover creative solutions to grow your business. We have a myriad of platforms, and this is one of them. We provide entrepreneurs a virtual space to meet, to mastermind, do business together, share tools, tips, best practices. We learn, cooperate, and celebrate. And today you are on our podcast. You know, the current COVID crisis was a wake-up call for many people. It showed us just how vulnerable we were if we were relying on only one source of income, in particularly if that was a job. Overnight, families found out that they had to scramble in order to find ways to keep their lights on and pay their mortgage bill. All of a sudden, we had overnight entrepreneurs showing up across the world, not just through our nation, but across the world. So there's never been a better time than right now for you guys to consider owning and operating your own business. Some people were finding that when they did that pivot, they love it so much they don't want to go back to the old way of doing business. And if you look up on Google to find out about all these searches, home-based business opportunities, work from home, multiple streams of income, all of those are super hot search engine topics right now. Why? Because people are looking for options. So I decided to do something a little bit different this fall, and I have been inviting aspiring, emerging, and seasoned entrepreneurs to come onto our show and share their experiences. They're going to be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. Folks, these are real people just like you and I who are willing to come in here and share what they know in hopes of inspiring you to consider dusting off those dreams and becoming an entrepreneur. So today I'm very excited with our guest, Miss Debby with a Y McKinney. I've known Debby for several years now, and she actually lives right here along the Emerald Coast, and it's really kind of cool. We have a global network, she and I, that expands the world, but it's really neat when we can come together, and we're neighbors right along this Emerald Coast, which for those of you who may not know where that is, it's a 120-mile stretch of beautiful, beautiful coastline along the Gulf of Mexico, and it stems from Gulf Shores, Alabama, all the way to Panama City, Florida. So welcome to the show, Debby.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
So let's start with, give them a background. Who is Debby with a Y McKinney? How you got that name? And just give us some background on who you are and what you do. Let's not dig into the entrepreneurship stuff yet. Just tell them about who Debby is.
Okay. Well, Debby these days is a nana to 2 grandkids, and I have 3 kids that are grown, a chocolate lab. And like you said, we live on the Emerald Coast here, and a husband of almost 40 years. So we've been together a long time. We met in college. And I love mentoring women, which is what I do kind of as a mission and a hobby. And I'm very passionate about natural health. And I actually got there from an experience in, we had a sick house, and our whole family got sick, our 3 young kids. And there was a doctor that I met through the CEO Club who looked for the cause of disease and really worked with that. And that changed my whole life. And it not only changed my health and how I looked at it, was I decided that, and this is even before the internet, that I was going to work from home because I wanted to be the primary, caretaker and influencer of our kids. So with fax machines, I started to work from home. And now it's interesting because all of my kids work from home. They've decided to adopt that as well. So
let's talk about, I'm finding a wonderful, strong theme among a lot of these entrepreneurs that I'm interviewing here recently, and I love this. So tell us about your journey of becoming an entrepreneur. When did that start?
Well, that's, for me, started at like age 10. And my family I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My dad had a printing business back when there were printing presses and big things like that. And my good friend Cheryl and I, we lived in a kind of an enclosed neighborhood. There were 2 cul-de-sacs. So we would go around as reporters and, interview people in our neighborhood. What are you doing? What's going on? And we'd put together this newsletter and we charged for it. So we made money that way. So for me, it was just natural. I grew up, talking, around the dinner table, talking about entrepreneurship. And then when I got to college, I met somebody that I just fell in love with, and he was an entrepreneur as well. And so was his family. And so we really kind of clicked in that way. And after college, he was called in to be a consultant or really an expediter to get a project done. They were manufacturing architectural items for big commercial buildings. We were in Philadelphia at the time, and there was this project in Fort Worth, Texas. So he went down there. He saw the boom of construction in Texas, and we ended up moving there to produce the products there. And 10 months later, we had a little baby, and the owner of that business just decided that wasn't the way to go. So there we were. We started a business. We figured we had nothing to lose, and that one grew into actually 3 businesses, and 2 of them were over 7 figures. So I had quite an experience. And the neat part about it is my husband and I have very complementary skills. And my dad, and actually both my dad and my mom, came in and helped us out. They were part of our mentors. And my dad said that he had never seen 2 people come together with such, our skills, our talents, our expertise, everything just came together. And then my mom was all about the numbers. She was a chief financial officer of a major insurance company. And so even though numbers are not my thing, there's certain things you have to really know your numbers in a business. And we had a very thriving business, but you can be on top of the world one day and then it on top of you. We had a sick house, which I mentioned before, and we were almost not on this earth. Very, very sick. Lost 3 years of our lives, and we lost that business. At that point, we had 5 manufacturing plants around the country, and we'd actually lost 4 of them. And over time, we eventually went in and we were manufacturers reps, and we did that for a period of time. But when something like that happens, it totally changes you. At least it changed me. And I began to really look at, what do I want to do? What am I passionate about? And over the years, people would, and I studied with Bob Proctor, mindset, personal growth, and people would start to ask me, can you help me? Can you help me? So I never intended on having a coaching business, but that's exactly what happened. And so I coached on internet marketing because at that point I knew I wanted to be able to work online, and and mindset and business coaching. And so I helped a lot of entrepreneurs get started, because when when you're just launching a business, there is so much to consider with most businesses, and it's so easy to get kind of distracted or not knowing, okay, what do I do first? What are the sequences? What should I be concentrating on? How can I make this simple? And for me, I've always been able to look at this like 30,000-foot view, look down on a business and be able to tell what goes where and when. And so that's what I had been doing. And then I had an accident, horrific accident, and required extensive surgery. And I really wasn't able to serve my clients well because I was down for a long time after that. But eventually what happened was I found a product, I found a business that I'm in today that truly helps entrepreneurs and makes it simple, like a simple step-by-step how to start a business. And it doesn't take, very affordable, because so many businesses, our first business, we were $350,000 in the hole before we ever opened the door, as we were opening our door. And so I kept saying, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And turns out there is. So that's kind of like a lot of ups and downs in that. So
Sure. Well, that's what gives you the experience. We all learn from those experiences. Hopefully we don't repeat those same mistakes. And, folks, a lot of times there's nothing you can do. You can have a plan A, B, or C, and something happens, just like, you know, Debbie was talking about. It sounds like she had two big major incidents. Well, actually three. But I'm sitting here thinking about, she was talking about this house that made her sick. So do you want to go into that a little bit to kind of bring us up to date to where you are now with your business?
Okay. Well, we ended up losing everything, when we got sick, because when you're not healthy, you can't run your business. And as an entrepreneur, it's, even though we had lots of systems, we had things of doing it, but if you're not actively there and participating in your business, you can't run it. And so over the years, I just knew there was a better way. And so what I got from that was, like I said, is I had to find my passion. The business that we were in was my husband's passion. He was really good at that. He was good at architecture. He was good at building things together. And me, I found out that I'm more of a people person. I love to watch people grow. And throughout the years, I've successfully launched several entrepreneurs in business, but it always took a lot. And so with COVID, I made a switch, and there's somebody I've known for a long time who really put together a step-by-step system, and it just really put everything together. Just like, I had been trying to put together a business, and I can't tell you how much money I spent, like, on internet marketing and learning and how to do that and put that together. And, and then there's personal growth and publishing books and, all these things to get noticed, and what's your branding. And so there's just a lot to that. And when I saw this business, which is really a franchise model, it's a hybrid model, which makes total sense to me. So it's a franchise-like system, which means it's step by step by step, but it's proven over 30 years. And it's not just, like oh, here's a step-by-step system, we'll see if it works. And then the other aspect of it is it's network marketing. And so the product is already chosen with that. And it's a product that is known to sell and that people love. And you might say, well, why network marketing? Well, there's unlimited income potential with network marketing. Plus, I've been in businesses where you have to fulfill, you have to get the product, do it, whatever it is, customer service, do the billing. With network marketing, that's done for you, which is really great. But most people want to be in business, but a lot of people don't want to sell. And so when you have things in place like automated presentations and internet marketing and a whole business school and mentorship, where the product sells itself, the system sells itself, the videos, whatever it is, it sells themselves, because so many people don't want to sell. So it's a way of, I've said that word a lot, selling without selling. And and right now, you're absolutely right. People want to make money and have a business from home. And so really that takes, that can take a lot to put together. And people are like, oh, it's an overnight success, when it took 10, 15 years in the making. And so one of the things that was put together for this system is that ongoing daily live support. You can literally pick up the phone, talk to somebody who's been, first of all, proven to have made at least $100,000 using the system and has expertise. And, and so when I was in another business, you literally had to just email, and maybe in a day or two, you got a response, or you use the chat boxes. This is live support, people who truly are there to help you in your business, to help you grow. So that's what that's about.
Well, it sounds amazing. So let's go in for the big reveal. Let's tell them what this business is and about the products and services. And I am now a customer and rep, and I am a believer. So I am excited for her to be able to share this with you today.
Okay. Well, my business is My Home Franchise System. And so really it's the franchise part, which is attached to a network marketing company. And actually, I'd like people to reach out to me because I'm not going to reveal it here. It's a product that's proven to work, and it's something that people order over and over and over again because, face it, if people want true residual income, but if the product doesn't sell and if people don't stay on it, there's no residual income. And so it's a product that changes people's lives, and in many cases, 20 minutes or less. And so we love people to sample the products, to fall in love with them. And so many of our customers do become our business partners.
Now, folks, I wanted you to catch something very distinct that she just mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. Did you hear her? Many field results in just 20 minutes. That's pretty amazing. You want to give them your website address again?
Okay. And actually, before I do that, I used to own a health food store after our sick house. And so I've been involved in natural health for a long time. And so I've never seen a product work like this. So it's myhomefranchisesystem.com. And so get in touch with me. Love to chat with you, get you some information, see if this is for you or not.
One of the things that you get with this, I just want to give a shout out to her because Debbie is a very unassuming powerhouse. Let me tell you what, she is filled with knowledge, expertise, experience. She's got a fantastic network. I mean, if there is anything that you need help with in your business, she's your gal. If she is not, she can get a hold of that information for you. She's very well connected, and I highly respect her. And I encourage you to reach out to her because if you ever wanted a mentor, somebody who really values people and has a heart for that and is a great, honest, ethical person, Debbie with a Y McKinney would be it. And so with that, I want to kind of change subjects just for a couple of minutes. I want to get down in the trenches because a lot of you, you may be an aspiring entrepreneur. You may have been thinking about it. Someday I want to be a business owner, or you've had a dream that, once I retire, then I'm going to really do something that I'm passionate about. So I've asked Debbie to share a couple of things with you. What are some tips and advice that you would give somebody who was considering becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, first of all, congratulations. And for me, it's, having control of your own life. And so that's a great step. And for me, the biggest shortcut and the best advice is to find a mentor, somebody who's already done this and who has done it well, who can then guide you. And then another, and just to give you support. And it's kind of interesting, Bob Proctor, he was asked, if you were to start over today, what would you do? And he said he would do network marketing. Now he's a coach and speaker. And then he said, and I would find somebody who's done it well. So I'm giving that same advice. And then also, don't invent the wheel. So many people just try to start everything from scratch. And for example, there's a woman that my sister knows who really wants to be an entrepreneur, and she's invented something, which is great, but it's a long path. And so I suggested that she do something else just to make money for the time being, meanwhile working on her patents and everything else. And so it's, do something to make money as fast as possible, learn to be an entrepreneur, and there's lots of help out there, and there's free help. We have like the small business development, but really it's the mentorship that can make the biggest difference, and expect to fail. If you're gonna fail, you're gonna make mistakes, and I do it all the time. And now I've learned to kind of embrace it. And just to give you an idea, I had a teacher friend wanted to start a music business in the summer. She did it one summer, and then after that, she decided that wasn't for her. She didn't get enough customers, and she didn't quite put it together. And I was shocked because the number of customers that she actually had and the kids were having so much fun, but she didn't stick with it. So be with it and know that it's going to take some time and you can fail your way to success.
One of my favorite authors is John Maxwell, and he has an excellent book called Failing Forward. And one of the things, entrepreneurs, I want to let you know is, I'm sure the statistic has changed, but back in the day, it was said that an entrepreneur has to fail 17 times before they finally make it big. Now, that doesn't mean you're failing doing the same error 17 times. That means it's took you 17 times at trying different things and different combinations to kind of really get where you need to be to have some mega success. So many of you that's listening to this, you have failed once or twice and you run with your tail between your legs and you're afraid to try anything. You know, perhaps your spouse was not as supportive or your family members as what they should have been. And so you just, you know, think, okay, I failed there. I failed a couple of times. Folks, just get back up and start over. Try something new, because it's a fantastic lifestyle. Yeah, it's a little bit scary at times, but you know what? So is dependent on an employer to be able to take care of you for 30 years and give you a retirement income. You need to accept responsibility for your own financial destiny and to not be relying on somebody else for that. So what lessons have you learned, Debbie? What's something that you know now that you wished you'd known before?
What I wish I had known was what a difference mentorship can be. And I don't know. And I guess I've always been persistent. And when I went after something, I was going to do it. But I would have gotten mentorship sooner and really been around other people who were more successful than I was, because my mom used to call me stubborn when I was a kid because I can do it my way and I'm going to succeed. But entrepreneurship is not not a me sport. It's a we sport. And so I would have gotten more help earlier on, and not only gotten the help, listened, and then implemented those suggestions. So that's what I would do different.
I had a conversation earlier today about that very same thing. And we were talking about, as entrepreneurs, we're stubborn and we don't like to admit that we need help. It's very hard for us because we think, just like you said, the only way to get something done right is by us doing it. You know, a lot of times we're solopreneurs, and that means everything, if it needs to get done, and we know, so it's very hard to reach out. The other thing that we talked about was surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. This is another bitter pill to swallow sometimes. It feels good to be the smartest person in the room, but you know what? That's not doing yourself a service. It's doing yourself a disservice. You need to surround yourself with people who have strengths where you have weaknesses and all those things, because that's the way that you rise higher, go further, faster. When you're around this different group of people, you're challenged, you become inspired, and so it's, you up your game. And that's what it is when you have a great mentor. And, a lot of times, if you're not growing, you're dying. So I don't care how old you are, how many years that you've been in business, things are evolving, things are changing, and you need to look at new technologies and all of these things. I'm not saying you have to do it and you have to be an expert, but you need to be aware of what's out there. So if you need to implement these things in your business, you can do that. And by surrounding yourself with people who've been there, done that, got the t-shirt for it, you're going to be eons ahead of folks. You're not going to have to make all those crazy mistakes that a lot of us did because we were too stubborn to ask for help, or we didn't know. Sometimes we just don't know that what we don't know. And so I totally agree with you on that mentorship and asking for help. And, set that pride aside, folks. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to fail. So Debbie, do you have a special offer for our listeners today?
Yes. I'd like to, for anybody who is interested in making money from home, having a home business that's more lucrative than a franchise, and being able to turn your home computer, your laptop, your phone into like a money-making machine, let's talk. And I, like Nancy said, got a lot of different expertise. And so let's see if this is for you. If not, I can probably help you in whatever direction you want to go. And we're talking about mentorship. I have some mentors that are part of this business that are way ahead of me. And so we're kind of a package deal. So get in touch with me, 850-598-0200. That's my cell phone. And so, or Debby McKinney, DEBBY, MCKINNEY @gmail. And actually the reason why I say Debby with the Y is that online, most people will think about spelling it DEBBIE. So I wasn't getting emails, people weren't finding me. So that's why I'm Debby with the Y. So
All right. Well, thank you again. We have been listening to Debby McKinney from the Emerald Coast. Please reach out to her and see if it's a good fit for you. So we'd like to invite you to join us next time as we explore a little further into the wonderful world of entrepreneurship. I'd also personally like to invite you to join us. Debby is my co-host on our weekly Friday event called Lunch and Learn Zoom Fridays. We meet online with a group of global entrepreneurs from around the world. It's fantastic. It's a ton of fun. It's from 11:30 to 1 Central Standard Time. So you can reach out and get an invite from us. You can join us 2 times for free. See if we're a good fit. Take us for a test drive. So we'd love to have you. You can tune in to learn how to avoid some of the most common pitfalls, and we're answering some of your most pressing entrepreneurial questions. So you've been listening to Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur? I'm the host, Nancy Gaskins, with my guest here, Debby McKinney. We hope you'll join us next time and have a fabulous week. Thank you, Debby.
Thank you so much. Very blessed.